I think we're good to go. It's always weird doing streams because you never know when you're actually live. um, Hello everybody, and welcome back to the stream. Welcome back. It just started. I should. Hello everybody. Actually, let me get some hellos out of the way. Hello Nikolai Dempsey. Dempsey again. Dempsey a third time. There's me. Hello Matthew. Another Dempsey. Caden King, Scott McDonald, and Apple Flavors. How is everybody doing today? I should start off with just publicly acknowledging the fact that my voice is shot, so I really don't know how this live stream's going to go in terms of like length or me talking. As the title suggested, I played Poppy Playtime last night with my friends, and number one, pretty effective in terms of its horror. There were several jump scares that actually got us, but on the other hand, there was a little bit of it where we weren't too happy with how the game played out. And it all has to do with this one right here. Well, here, let's start off with this. Sound off in the chat if you A, have played the game, or B, do not care for spoilers. Because I wouldn't exactly call them spoilers, but just like letting you know, like it is a part about halfway through the chapter, and the video isn't gonna come out for a little bit. That me and my friends recorded it, but I didn't sign an NDA, so it's not like I can't talk about it. Let's see. Let's catch up on chat before we do anything. Dempsey, it's that holding part before you're live. Starting screens are great for that. They are. For some reason, I can't get music to work. Like, I tried playing music over the starting screen just to set the ambiance. And OBS says it's picking up sound from the desktop, but I couldn't hear it, which was really weird. So I'll have to look into that before the next stream. This week just got really hectic. Owl House, Sonic the Hedgehog character fusion, Short Wars the superheroes, Undertale superheroes, and Miraculous Villains Venomized. Yes, Nikolai, I have, let me double check, but I believe I have all of those written down. Because I have seen your comments, and I do want to get to them. They're just, unfortunately, they are all topics that require external research for. Like, none of those things I know off the top of my head, unfortunately. So once I get to researching things, I definitely want to do one, especially a Miraculous one, because I've been interested in that series for a long time, just haven't gotten the chance to watch it. Also, I should specify, I have no idea what I'm doing. I just kind of wanted to draw her, despite how much I hate this one, hate this character gameplay-wise. But we'll figure something out. Maybe I'll just do like a splash art of her. Because, Dempsey, I know you're doing a splash art of Pokemon, and I would be lying if I said I wasn't inspired to do a splash art. Granted, it's in the wrong format for it. I take back everything I just said. You can't see what I'm doing, unfortunately, because of the way it's set up. All right, now it's no longer in the wrong format. She's looking a little squashed though. Let's fix that. There we go. All right, while I do this, let's see what chat has to say. What if Hazbin Hotel were in the Cuphead show? That's interesting. Either way could work. Either Cuphead and Hell of a Boss or Hazbin Hotel, or vice versa. Especially since I don't know how many of you watched Hazbin Hotel, saw it, or are not caught up yet, but I have to say I rather enjoyed The finale. I thought it was really nice. I don't know if nice was the right word, but I thought it was a good ending. And for like, just to think that 4 years ago or whatever, 4 or 5 years ago, like, that pilot came out and now there's a definitive conclusion, because I believe there's a second season to the story. Like, that is, I don't know. It's weird to stick with something for so long and see it come to an end. Like, I don't know. That's just how I feel personally about the finale. Anyway, I'm already getting sidetracked. Dempsey is excited for this week. I am too. I believe we are not at liberty, or at least the things I have working on, because tomorrow's video I'm really excited for, but I don't want to give anything away. So I'm going to bite my tongue a little bit before I say anything that I have signed a contract for myself to not be able to say. I'm alive like normal. Alive is good. Alive is definitely the preferable state of being. I mean, you have the solid, liquid, gas, and alive. And personally, alive is probably the best one, in my opinion. Oh dear, the revolution starts now. Oh, you have no idea. The hour of joy is at hand. I'm assuming, Dempsey, your B is you don't care much for spoilers. I feel like I shouldn't be working on detail this early. I feel like I should have a rough layout of the pose first before I start doing facial features. So if you're swinging a hammer, your neck would kind of be like this. And then one goes down and up. Also, this is the part of live streams that you don't, or the part of the art process you don't see in the normal videos is how often I mime out the poses I'm doing just to make sure I'm getting them right. For the, what was it? The Serial Mascots is SCP. I have there's a picture on my phone of me crouched in the position so I could get the leprechaun right. So I can get Lucky the Leprechaun right in the squatting pose. Okay. Something's wrong. One of these arms is not bending like they should. So if you hold it back like that. Oh, okay. So the other hand would be here. Oh, you would go behind the head. That's interesting. So, something like that. Yeah. Also, this is made out of like... this might be a spoiler, so cover your ears if you don't want to hear spoilers. But I believe this weapon is made out of like school supplies, which you can actually just see from the picture. Ignore the fact that she's distorted. But yeah, like these are all pencils. That's horrifying. I didn't notice that when playing. Live like normal. Revolution starts now. Who is this Poppy Playtime character? I don't know her. This, my dear friends, is Miss Delight. And let me figure out if everybody seems to be good on spoilers. Oh, Apple Flavors, you already answered me. Thank you so much. I've seen someone play the game, and this character is very creepy, so I know everything. Oh, Caden King. Creepy doesn't begin to describe it. Don't really care about spoilers. Miss Delight, creepy, with that human mouth and nose. Yeah. It's not great. I'll help you with that on Discord this week if you want, or before your next stream. Finally got music work. Oh, thank you. That would be much appreciated, Dempsey. Because I thought I had it years ago when I was streaming, and I don't know, something got changed. But we'll figure that out. Kid and King, how's it going? I'm doing good. I'm glad everybody's doing good. Do splash art. Nice canvas rotate. Unfortunately, I didn't rotate the canvas. I rotated the image, so she got squashed a little bit, which was a little unfortunate. But it's okay. Everybody is well now. Ooh. Natural organs are actually going to be a bit tough to do. But we'll get the basic layout. I haven't finished the pose yet, but you know, that's just how I roll, apparently. Splash art, random idea, objects, textures, featured. Idea, random object textures, features incorporated into a creature. I'm not quite sure what you mean, apple flavors, but it does sound interesting. Yeah, so feel free to explain that more, because I think I might have an idea of what you're talking about, but I don't fully understand, if that makes sense. Charlie would be a cute toddler trying to be friends with Cuphead and Mugman, but would cause shenanigans. From the little I know about Cuphead, I definitely think that would be true, especially given like just kind of how the season played out. I definitely could see that being the story for that. But once again, I'm so unfamiliar with Cuphead. I'm so bad at keeping up with like just media in general. This is not how I've been. I just realized I've been blocking this out wrong. I've been trying to go more into a if you watch Popcross's channel, he does something, well, he uses a harder brush, but he does something like this where he lays them out in colors. And I've been trying to do that with my art, and then that just totally skipped my mind while doing this. So yeah, I am technically blocking this out in the wrong way. Okay, you can see that. I have it set up where you can only see the Photoshop screen. So like if I pull down a menu here, you're not seeing it. So I don't know really what that entails you can see. Like, I didn't know if you could see the bounding box, but I am glad you can. Or else you would really be very lost in what was happening with this. Alright. Swinging the mace. You come back, swing it. Wow, that arm really gets hidden. This arm should also... And true to form for KyngPin Creations, the head is too big. But it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Anatomy needs some work, but it's fine. Make you a little smaller. There we go. It kind of looks like... It's almost looking like a robot a little bit. I don't know. Something's not... Well, she's not technically human, but still, something is not right. Looking at her is terrifying. Tuesday evening should be safe. Say before and your head to be... Yeah, quiet. Yeah, nothing. No secrets are being... said from me until the time is right. I need a bigger reference picture. I made her way too small. Here, let's size you up a little bit because I cannot see your face. Oh, her cheeks. Okay. Her cheeks are just like, they go this way and then they're gone. All of this is flesh. That's comforting. All right, there we go. For poses, I mime out, get refs, use images, use body kundals, draw roughs in a new file people don't see and get the idea on some. Yeah, I do. I used to do some references in a sketchbook, but I've noticed that whenever I do that, it comes out differently when I draw digitally. Drawing traditionally and drawing digitally are very different skills. And I don't know if people, like non-artist people, know that. But I just found that out, and it's So if you're swinging back, your hair would go in front of your face. Like that, I think. And then this way. Wow, that mace is really going to get blocked out. It's fine. It's a-okay. Nothing to worry about here. King, I'm good. As busy as always. Yep. By the way, thanks for the character recommendations. I would have never thought about Ink Taylor. Yeah, he's one of my... Caden King, one of my favorite characters of yours. There's just something about the ink powers thing that really vibed with me. It might just be because I associate like ink and stuff with Bendy, and I really enjoyed that game that I never played. A lot of the media I consume, I just, watch vicariously through someone else. Lots and lots of Let's Players. So thumbs are on the inside, so would kind of be hidden. Alright, good to know. I feel like, let's stick with this, see how it goes. Ding, 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 ding. I just realized I'm going to have to draw out all of those pencils. Oh my gosh. Alright, this might be a 2-part stream specifically for the pencils alone. Thanks for the recommendations. Hello, Chainsaw Hunter. How's it going? Glad you can join the stream. Plot summary for the Owl House. Teenage girl, I'm going to mess up this name, Nocida stumbles upon the Boiling Isles where she meets new friends and new enemies. I know a little bit about, I recognize the plot summary and I've been interested in it. I'm just really bad at making time for, what is it called? For consuming media. I'm shocked I even caught up on Has Been Hotel. I'm gonna be honest. Dempsey illustrations. You have your live tomorrow and the video for Friday, plus the second part of the community redraw, which I'm excited about. Yeah, I've made it a part of my Monday to make sure to tune into Dempsey's streams because it's just a nice, chill environment for the start of the week, and it's been really nice. And that's also, the inspiration behind doing these streams, because I think I've mentioned it in the last one where I have so many things that I want to draw, and it's just been time is not your friend. And so that's how this is, that's part of the reason I want to do live streams, because I want to draw more. And sometimes I don't have full enough ideas for a full video. Like today's original idea was going to be Catnap on the Suicide Squad, just to get those 2 big games in there. But then we had our little Miss Delight mishap from yesterday, which is a story I started this stream with and still haven't gotten to yet. Also, hello Popcross. Thank you so much for joining the stream. I hope this looks kind of decent. The posing is a little too dynamic for what I was hoping for. Might have gotten a little ahead of myself, but this is just a rough sketch. So if I do, well, actually, as any good artist does. All right, you don't look as bad as I thought. Cool. We can move on to the next stage now. Okay, I'm going to put the pencil down, catch up on the stream, and then I will talk about the story as to why we are drawing Little Miss Sunshine over here. All right, Popcross. Yes, Ink is definitely an interesting character. I agree with that, especially design-wise. All your character designs, Caden King, are really good, especially not the Nova twins, the Blast twins, Nova and Frost Blast. I really like because I love the fire and ice aspect Doing good. Glad to catch another one of your streams. I'm doing well. As I've mentioned before, yesterday was a little bit of a process to get through, but I've calmed down since then. You threw this on while doing a bit of cooking. Oh, that's awesome. I ate earlier because I scheduled this stream for a really weird time, but hopefully if all goes well, I'm literally just tracing over. If all goes well, I will be able to eat later before it gets too late. And my family is making biscuits, so hopefully they don't eat all of them on me. Wonder what you're cooking, Popcross. Some chicken cauliflower. Oh, that sounds really good, Popcross. I could go for some chicken right now. Do I have any lying around? I don't. I do not keep chicken in the studio, unfortunately. Popcross Studios, the best thing about watching a live, can just chill with an art stream as you get more art to do. Yeah, that's definitely what I really like about the streams. I've also been during making the what's it called regular videos. I've been watching the Honeycast. I don't know if any of you are familiar with it. It is the podcast or the streams, whatever they are, that I need to double check this before I get it wrong. I believe it's Ashley Nicole's art that they do with Michael Kovac, the voice actor for a whole bunch of the indie animation scenes. And I'm 48 episodes behind, but I've been meaning to catch up on that. So it's always nice because they're just very chill. Like, live streams are very chill, as like they can really easily act as background noise, which I really enjoy. It's looking cool, KyngPin. Haven't seen much from Poppy 3, so I'm excited to research this character later. Oh, this character is fun. Fun is the word I can say. So this, like I mentioned before, Poppy Playtime, Chapter 3, very effective jump scares. There were several with like, not even the ones with like the jump scares where it's like loud noise in your face. Oh, you weren't expecting that. Like, they were genuine jump scares without like I said, like loud noise. And it got me and the 4 of my friends that were all playing this in a room together. However, when it got to Little Miss Delight here, I was the one playing the game itself, and so you solve a puzzle and it triggers a cutscene where she comes out and it initiates the chase sequence. I wasn't paying attention, so we solved the puzzle. She came out of the room and she did her little thing before the chase started, except I wasn't looking in the right direction. So just sounds kind of started happening. And we're like, oh, that's weird. I wonder what we're supposed to do next. And then she immediately jump scared us. So off to a great start. Like, we didn't even see her coming. We didn't even know she existed, period, at that point in the game. And so we just see this face and we're like, okay, you exist now. You're going to be a problem for us. So it puts us back at the start. We solve the puzzle again, and this time we see her. We see her come out, she does her thing, and the chase initiates. And we're not really familiar with this area. When we played the first 2 chapters of Poppy, I was still playing, but I had seen previous run-throughs of it, so I had a base idea of how each chapter was supposed to play out. This one, not at all. Went in blind, avoided spoilers for as long as I could, and I did a pretty good job. So I can go into this with fresh eyes. Was that a good idea? Remains to be seen. So she comes out, and she scares us, and the chase initiates. Okay, fine. It's a horror game. Chases are fine. We then find out, through trial and error, and I could be getting some of this wrong, she only moves when you're not looking at her. So if you're familiar with the Weeping Angels from Doctor Who, that's this. If you look at her, she stands still. But if you look away, suddenly she can move very fast. So now there is the added challenge for us of we have to navigate this area we are not familiar with backwards. And so we go through this extensive chase scene, which had you had to open 3 or 4 doors? No, I think it was close to 5 or 6 doors. Anyway, there's a lot more doors than there should have been. But the problem is, if you die, you go back to the start. Meaning you have to solve the puzzle to trigger the cutscene to get her to come out and start chasing you so you can go around and start opening the doors again. Which was fine, except we didn't learn that until we were halfway through our first run. So we got halfway through, we're like, wow, this is taking a really long time. Hopefully we can finish it. And then we die and go back to the start. We were not too happy. And then it happened again. And again. And again. To the point where some of us actually just said, I'm going to go do something else while you try to figure this out. To the further point where at some point we're like, all right, let's just stop the recording and we'll come back when we solve it. This wound up taking an hour plus. An hour and a half to solve. And then we did it. And those hands are going in the wrong size direction. They should be getting smaller as you go back, not bigger. And then we solve it. And we make it to the end. But at the end, and cover your ears if you do care for spoilers, the rules change. At the end, you go down. Also, I hope you all enjoy the visual representations I'm giving you. You open a door. So there's a room in here. You got to solve a puzzle. And you open this door. And there is a long hallway. And there's a door here. There's only one door. You have to get from here to here. The rules change. This is not part of the chase. You walk through this door. This is you. Your little grab pack. This is you. This is her. As soon as you step through this door, looking at her to freeze her no longer applies. So we're walking backwards down this hall, looking at her, being like, hey, stop, stop, stop. Why aren't you stopping? Stop, stop. She gets closer. She kills us. And I've already told you what happens when you die. You go back to the start. So we had to do that again, a second time, before we could make it past that level. That entire episode is that one chase. If any of my boss level friends are here and I wasn't supposed to say any of that, I apologize. My bad. All right, catching up with the chat. Definitely really like the twins. Wish I used them more in this arc. Well, it's your story, Caden King, so you can use them whenever you want. That's the beauty about making things. You can do whatever you want in your story. Like putting your friend's music on the car radio in a 31-part story during the course of Inktober. Still love that I did that. That was so cool. Not really a fan of broccoli or cauliflower. Cooked correctly, broccoli is really good. I have this, I can't say it's my recipe. I took it from a YouTube channel called Evan and Caitlin. It's like a spicy broccoli recipe, and it's so good. You cook the broccoli with salt, pepper, and hot pepper, and then you add a little bit of garlic once it's done. It's a very easy recipe, but one that is so good. So, yeah, I would say I'm a broccoli fan. KyngPin Creations, what other games are you looking to try or play in the future? If time and money allows, I would like to check out Power World because it seems interesting. I don't know how good I am of a survival gamer. Minecraft creative mode was kind of more my flow. Are you a pencil on the tail end of this? No, you're just kind of a shaved down wooden stake. So I'll get rid of you. So games I'm looking to play for in the future. Despite a rough go around with Miss Delight here, Poppy Playtime, because we didn't get to finish it yet. As you can imagine, the chase took a little longer than we were expecting. Poppy Playtime, looking to finish that. Definitely want to try out Power World because it seems fun and it just seems chaotic enough to be my speed. Where'd your hair go? In front of or behind that mace? I think it would be behind. I'm going to put you behind, and I'm going to remove this tangent line here. Yeah, we'll say that's right. So, yes, finish Poppy Playtime Chapter 3. And what is the second one called? I said Power World. There's some other games we've been playing on the YouTube channel that that have been like some pretty old games that my friend has been showing me. Most of these aren't even out. So I'm not gonna say what they are yet. They'll be out soon. One that I'm really looking forward to because we will soon be finishing the first game is Everhood 2, which is I believe it's described as an asymmetric rhythm game, meaning instead of trying to hit the beats, you're trying to dodge the beats that the enemies are firing at you. It's really fun, and, well, most of it's really fun. If you ignore the racquetball stages, it's a really fun game. But it's a very fun game, and it's got a lot of tongue-in-cheek humor. I think tongue-in-cheek humor is the right word. I don't actually know what tongue-in-cheek humor is. I just kind of throw out that phrase all the time. So I would say those are my top 2-ish, 3-ish games that I've been looking forward to playing. Oh, and the new FNAF game, the Into the Pit one, looks really cool. It's based off one of the books, if I remember correctly. Do you have eyebrows? Not really. You just have a perpetually creepy smiling expression. You can't actually form facial features. So, does that make my life easier? Remains to be seen. Yeah, we're going to have to flip this at some point and see what happens. Okay, so she's also wearing what looks to be an apron. Also, this arm is not arming correctly. So this will... You ever look at your own drawing and be like, I have no idea what this part of it is supposed to be. So... I'm getting too distracted. I don't know if you're all noticing this, but I'm trying to do one thing. I'm like, oh, what if I go up here and do this one next? Oh, what if I do this next? I would say that's not how it happens when I'm drawing live. Not live, but when I'm doing the full videos, but I can't actually speak to that. This might be exactly how I do it. All right, so this arm feels like it would block off the top of the overalls here. So I think all of this would be overalls. So let's put that apple down here. We'll fix that apple later. SCP 1993, the Coilheads, Weeping Angels, all terrifying. Hate them. Actually, like, Okay, I can't say hate them. I appreciate their designs. Their concepts frighten me. Like, playing through this chase, despite the dread of, if I die, I'm going to have to start over, the dread of being in that situation and just knowing that, like, the thing that can get you is literally in your eye line was awful. Like, my heart during that entire playthrough was just like, actually, I'm sorry, let me get a better representation of how my heart was like. I really hope the mic picked that up. Yeah, that was quite the endeavor. But clearly it didn't ruin the game for me, because I'm here drawing the source of my nightmares. Okay, that's interesting, the way her face goes. So there's more cracks in her face here. Like, these don't connect. It's insane how much, like, these are really split into just the actual facial features. It's like, eyes, okay, that's gone. Cheeks, okay, sectioned off. Like, it's crazy. Like, this doesn't look right, but it's also, like, exactly how it would be. Also, I do have a question for the artist in the room, and I feel like her eyes should definitely be rounder. Artist in the chat, if you're drawing something that's a little less natural and, like, drawing something that's cracked and broken, are you going for a one-to-one reference of the cracks, or are you just making your own cracks to get the same idea of it? Because when I was doing Five Nights at Venom's, the first one, I kind of just said for Springtrap, I'll just put my own decay in there, and just to get across the, you know, like, as long as you see it's Springtrap, that's all that matters. But I saw art of people, like, making it a one-to-one reference of where each part of the damage was. So I'm interested to see if that's just a me thing, or like how other artists handle the ambiguous damage effect, because I don't have a better word for it. But yeah, curious to know what your process is for stuff like that. KyngPin, she moves when the lights turn off. It has nothing to do with if you're looking at her or not. Well, that would have saved us an hour and a half if we had known that. I was looking today at some playthroughs of it just to get an idea of, like, what to do with her. I did notice that the lights were effective. Like no matter what happens, if the lights turns off, she's moving, which we did not know in the heat of the moment, which really, really soured that part of the experience. But overall, I don't know what to say. I will wait till I finish the game to give my final thoughts on it, just because those teeth made this real horrifying real fast. I hate it. I don't know what I've gotten myself into. Yep, all right. Cool. Nightmares. Everyone loves a little bit of nightmares. Wow. Those teeth really made it bad. Yikes. Good idea. Goosebumps. Wow. I got real mixed around there. I almost said Gooseworks, the creator of the Digital Circus. Goosebumps monsters as superheroes. Goosebumps as superheroes. I'm writing suggestions down on a notepad this time around because when I typed them out on my Google Sheet, I didn't have enough time to write down who made the suggestion. And so I had to actually go back through the stream to make sure I got all the credentials right. So if I write it down on this paper and then transfer it to the sheets, I should be good in terms of keeping organized. So just a little behind the scenes moment. I love Evan and Caitlin's resin channel. Resin time, resin time, do resin time. They're really fun. I do like one of the things I wish I could do, like had the ability to do. Man, this back arm looks really weird. One of the things I wish I had the ability to do was more physical art, like exactly what they do, like making tables and chairs and stuff like that. Like that would be really cool. I've done a little bit. I've customized like clothing before, but like woodworking is something I've always wanted to kind of do. Like something you can like physically have and be like, I did that. Like I got the poster right up here of what the heck was the name? Brass Panda from Redesigning Boss Fight. And I'm debating buying another one from tomorrow's episode. I don't want to spoil it, but it is, all I'm going to say is it is a video I have been really excited to make for a while, for a couple of months. And I think I might have like mentioned it in passing on one of Dempsey's streams or somewhere, like made a really cryptic hint to it, but I forget where it was. But yeah, tomorrow's video I'm really excited for. On a scale of 1 to 10, how good are you at fighting games, specifically Mortal Kombat and Super Smash Bros? Against computers, really good. On live services, let's just say if I win a fighting game against another actual person online, I usually attribute it to luck. And it does not happen often. There are also even times when like the final boss of fighting games are always a struggle for me. So I would say on a scale of 1 to 10, how good am I at fighting games? 6. I would say 6. I can, if I button mash the correct buttons, I could do some damage. Trying to play with combos and skill, not great. Not great. Power World is fun and addictive. I lost a few hours yesterday on it, and now I'm playing catch up. Oh no, I don't know if I could play it now. If you claim it's so addictive, you have a tie on apparently. I also have the same reference picture pulled up on my second monitor just so I can zoom in and out without having to switch layers. If you just see me looking off to the side for no reason. All right, you are you a rag doll or a wooden doll? I just kind of assumed wooden, but I don't know. You're starting to look a little Ragatha. All right, well, we will research that and texture accordingly. How good am I at fighting games? Got that one. Power 1 is fun. Her weapon is made of pencils, string, and a ruler. And I think something else. I think it was like a P word. Like I want to say pline, but I don't know if pline is an actual word. But I was looking through, like, we missed so much lore. Like, it wasn't even funny. Like, I went on YouTube and just being like, oh, all Miss Delight secrets and whatnot. We missed, like, 4 pieces of lore in that level. And my goodness, does the lore fill in a lot. But yeah, it says something like it's basically made from a bunch of school supplies, which in a school makes sense. I might leave that there because you look like you're ripping thread. So I'm going to leave those little line mistakes in there. Oh, your sleeve is made up of flower petals. New layer, new color. flower petals are rough. Yes? Is that how perspective works? It's about to be. Yeah. That actually doesn't look bad. I think I might have... That might have been a lot easier than I expected. All right. Sweet. Of course, this is without line art. We'll see if something changes like that. I don't usually follow the reference one-to-one. Actually, I never follow it one-to-one. That's fair. It's, at least for me, it is hard to like get it one-to-one exactly. Like, I will use it as reference to see like where the most damaged areas are. Like I said here, like this is all flesh, and these are the 4 pieces of face that actually... Those teeth should probably curve back more like that. Like I'll use it as a reference, but I don't usually do ambiguous details one-to-one. But good to know I'm not the only one about who doesn't do that, or who does do that, I should say. Okay, you're good. You good. Okay. You are fine. You look good. I think I just need to do that. Yeah. Yeah. Those top teeth need to... Actually, those top teeth would be fine. These bottom ones just needed to curve a little more. If there's a really big specific crack or something, I'll try to copy the parts. But with little details, I just do my own thing. Yeah, that's usually how I do it. Like, the ones that make the character, like the defining traits of where the cracks are, I'll follow those. But, like, ambiguously, it's like, maybe if that was the only drawing I was doing in a week and I wanted it to be the most accurate as possible... But if there's like 3 or 4 drawings in a week, then no reason to, in my opinion, no reason to try your hardest to copy it. Great Scott, how horrific. The teeth, I mean. Yeah, imagine seeing this. Imagine seeing this just out of nowhere. Like, well, without the lines in front of it. Like that. That was my first introduction to this character. Wasn't the best, I'll admit. P.S. Forgot to ask you to start with my favorite Goosebumps monster when you make the video. Shocker on Shock Street. Shocker on Shock Street. I don't know why, but as soon as I read that, I know exactly why, it's the same name, but I made connections to the Shocker from Spider-Man, so maybe putting them in Marvel, like Goosebumps monsters as Marvel villains, could be a cool idea. If not now, that is definitely a Halloween idea I want to do, because Goosebumps, one of the few horror things that child me could actually stomach. Not that adult me can stomach much horror, but you get the idea. Alright, how are we in terms of detail? Her hands need to look more like they are made up of wooden doll parts. So... if you haven't noticed, I would have to say that sketching, like this phase before the line art, is probably the phase that takes the longest for me when it comes to art. At least for now. Like, sometimes I can get a better understanding of... Is that how your arm looks? Not really. Sometimes I have a better understanding of what I'm looking to do than others, but this stage and this stage always take the longest. Your arms kind of go in and then out. Kind of like that. And then there's just like an end cap. Looks better than it was, but I don't know if it's the exact way your hands work. But it is okay. Art is about interpretation. Are we good to move on to line art? I mean, all this is going to be done in the rendering stage, so that's done. Are there any details I've missed? No, your arm would kind of be blocked off, but I'll make your shoulder a bit thicker to imply the shirt you have. But yeah, from what we have in terms of her, like where her body is, I don't need to include the skirt or anything. Your neck looking a little thick, which kind of makes this next part hard, because now that I've fixed this, I need to fill in these gaps, which as long as I make this three-dimensional, that shouldn't be a problem. All right, do that. There's that. And then, boom, 3 dimensions, kind of. We'll fix it in the next stage. I really only do original stuff. I can only think of one character that kind of has cracks, and that's Game Master, which kind of looks like Dresden, even though I made his design before Dresden had one. Yeah, so that would be, yeah, that's basically exactly what I'm talking about. Like, for something like the Game Master, Caden King, would you, like, if you're, I guess if you're drawing the same character twice in the same continuity, it would benefit to have one-to-one cracks. Although that's not always possible. But if you do draw Game Master multiple times, do you do your best to make it one-to-one, like make sure the cracks are the same all the time? Sorry I'm late. Hey KyngPin, how many submissions have you received for the community redraw? Off the top of my head, I believe, I don't know the exact number. It's more than 5 I've gotten. They've been slowly rolling in over the next week. Yeah, I can see the future. I'm gonna get so many submissions in the next week. I'm not even gonna know what to do with them. No, they've been slowly coming over the past week, and so I've been looking at them, and the submissions are all really good so far. And now or soon comes the part of the submission or the community redraws that I was a little worried about, having to decide which ones to do because they're all really good, and as I've mentioned before, time is the enemy. Who do you normally play as MK and Super Smash Bros? Mortal Kombat, my favorites are Scorpion and Noob Saibot. Smash Bros, I kind of just jump around. I have like a kind of self-imposed rule with fighting games that if I'm like playing for a while, I never play the same character twice. It's really ridiculous, but it's just like I like to explore the variety of characters, and so I often try to just play all the characters at least once, even if there's some characters that don't fit well with my button mashing playstyle. Okay, so the hardest ones are going to be trying to draw the front-facing pencils. Oh my gosh. I didn't think about this one. These pencils are going to be rough. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. As you can see, I'm too scared to move toward the middle to start drawing the pencils. I kind of want to stick to the edge as much as I can. We've determined your hair stays behind the pencils, right? I think that's what I said. Somebody rewind the live stream and tell me what I said. Nah, you don't have to do that. We've been streaming for an hour. You'd have to go back through a lot of footage. All right, it's not looking too bad so far. Speaking of fighting games, what has been the toughest final boss you've ever fought? Oh, I never finished Arkham Origins. I would have to say probably the most frustrating fight in a fighting game I had was any of the ones in Mortal Kombat 9 where you had two opponents, but you were only playing as one character. So you had to deplete twice as many life bars with only a single one. Granted, I was like so much younger than I am now, so that I could be a little biased as to what I consider the hardest, but those ones I remember barely ever being able to beat because of that exact thing. So, Mortal Kombat 9, the double on single fights is my answer for hardest boss fight. Deathstroke from Arkham Origins, I never finished that game because, like I said, I was much younger and therefore much more inexperienced with how to go through an open-ended game. I just kind of flew around the city as Batman. I'm like, look at me, I got to be Batman. So, yeah. that is my answer. Mortal Kombat 9, which still remains one of my favorite Mortal Kombat games because of all the cool stuff they put into it. But younger me had a bit of a hard time getting through that story. Actually, younger me never got through that story. Never finished that game. I don't know where it is now. And now where, because this doesn't look right. It either looks, I take that back. It kind of looks right. Here, let's just see what. Yeah, none of them are really facing the camera head on. They're like all off to somewhat of an angle. Also, these pencils are of varying heights. That's not how that works. I need to put you here. Ugh. This is getting real difficult. All right. I am falling way behind in the chat. Let's catch up with these. Anyone hyped for the Sonic 3 movie coming out in theaters? I haven't seen the first two. Unfortunately, I've wanted to. I remember seeing the trailer when Sonic looked like this. But that as far as my knowledge goes for the Sonic movies, unfortunately. I have not seen them, but I have heard about the trailer, and the fact that it's got 3 movies is crazy because it feels like last year they put out the trailer for the first one. But nope, that was like 6 years ago or something like that. Really crazy. Hello, King of Art. How are you doing? I'm so glad you can join the stream. I'm so sorry that you probably wrote that like 30 minutes ago and I'm just getting to it. I need to condense my chat answers a little bit. As I say, going off on a tangent. But I do hope you are doing well. Hey, KyngPin, what do you think of AI-generated art? I do not believe... Personally, I do not like it. In terms of being a main art source, I do not think it qualifies and or should be essentially praised as real artwork, because you are all joining the stream. You are all seeing the creative process. Imagine, if you will, a live streamer, an AI artist doing a live stream, being like, all right, welcome to the stream, everybody. We're gonna We're going to be doing a splash art of Miss Delight today. So we'll just give a few minutes to get everyone in. And here we go. I got my AI thing here. Please generate Miss Delight from Poppy Playtime. Hit enter. All right, thanks for coming to the stream, everybody. But serious answer, I don't like it. I think AI should be used as a tool, not a final product. In fact, I don't like it so much, I wrote a song about it. When I was /am in a band that I started in college, we started working on stuff, and that happened to just be one of the ideas we were playing with for a song. And we're like, hey, we just tweaked the lyrics a little bit, and well, not tweak the lyrics a little bit, but like I don't know how to explain it, but like this, we made a song about it. And so we put that out, and honestly, well, the song I really like, but all right, now I'm layering the pencils and it's getting really, really difficult to see. The song is really good. I wrote the lyrics for it, and then my friend did the instrumentals and the mixing, and then we all did like screamy, chanty vocals to like simulate a protesting crowd. Song I really like. The music video that I made for it is amazing. If any of you are interested, it is called Infamy by Heavy as the Crown. In fact, I have the power to just put a link. But, yes. That is my thoughts on AI. Sneaky Frapture Squad combined grew from Despicable Me and Megamind. Oh dear. Oh no. Grew plus Megamind. I'm actually shocked that Despicable Me is getting a 4th movie. I didn't actually think like that would possible. Like I'd never known like a kids movie that has 4. Well, there's Shrek. Never mind. But I was genuinely shocked. I thought number 3 would have been the end all be of all of that series. But I guess the Minions are just too popular for Illumination to let go of. Popcross, I know you're not here, but I know you headed out a long time ago. I wish you well. I hope you enjoy your dinner. Chicken cauliflower pizza. It sounds really good. I wish I had some. But thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it. Can somebody relay that message to him, please? Okay. Pencils are in a good place. Pencil down. Read the chat. This is a definitely awesome superhero fusion idea. Spider-Gwen combined with Batgirl? I don't know if I recognize who that is. Well, lo and behold, looking that up on Google just got me photos of girls with their backs to the camera. That's not the right pen. Don't know what I was thinking there. But Sneaky Raptor Squad, I'm not too familiar with who that is. So if you want to put in... zooming out of the wrong screen. If you want to put in the chat who that is or what franchise she's from, I will look into it. See you later, Popcross. No, I just do them randomly. Okay, that makes sense, Caden. You cannot say no to a fusion idea. Combine Danny Phantom with American Dragon Jake Long. Danny Phantom plus American Dragon. Draw one pencil and then copy and layer and rotate it. Nope. Okay. Well, missed that from a long time ago. Sorry about that, Dempsey. You give me so much good advice, but I'm so behind on the chat that I can never keep up with it. Move back and forward a bit and erase then each bit as you layer them if you don't want to, and then flatten them. If you don't want, then flatten after. Yeah. There's actually a death battle vid called Danny Phantom versus Jake Long. I've seen only a few death battles. I've been meaning to get into it, but like I've never gotten the chance to actually watch it. But I've seen a few and they're really cool. That's it. You're doomed. The movies are really good, and I'm looking forward to part 3. They are epic and well done. I've heard really good things about them. I just never got around to watching them. All right. How do you look? Those pencils are of so many varying lengths, but it's A-okay. Hopefully everything looks good when we render it. All right. Flipped version looking good. I think we can start on line art now. After I keep up with the chat. I also really enjoy the movies, and I'm very excited to see Shadow in the third one. For sure, Shadow's an awesome character. I do love Shadow. I don't know if any of you have seen... What's the Netflix show? Sonic Prime, I believe it's called. That one is a really good Sonic show that I enjoyed. But I have yet to see the movies, and that is on my ever-increasing bucket list of things to watch. Dempsey, AI should be used as a tool for conceptual ideas and fusions to show possibilities that you can build on in case study to improve your style. It has pros and cons. Yeah, exactly. Like, I can see it being cool. Like, no, not cool. Helpful for learning. But unfortunately, a lot of people are using it as a substitute rather than a tool, which is my biggest issue with it. And I, for one, am actually pretty happy that there are programs out there that are actively combating it, because it is thievery. And AI is only pulling pictures from the internet in order to make art pieces. And how do you think those reference images get on the internet? They're made by people who spend countless hours drawing them. And so, yeah. Just to circle back to the AI a little bit. Yeah, he really is. I also really like Silver and hope they use him in the future. Silver would be cool. I don't know much about Silver, but I've seen Silver in a couple of games that the Game Grumps play, which are always really fun to watch. Maybe I want to try a Sonic game, Dempsey, to circle back to your question. Like, I've never played a Sonic, a Zelda, a Mario game, well, minus Mario Kart, in my entire life. So those are up there to answer your question from long ago. Yeah, the top 4 Sonic the Hedgehog characters are Shadow, Sonic, Knuckles, and Big the Cat. Yeah. Mega Gru or Gruesome Mind? Oh! Batgirl! I misread it. I am really dumb. I didn't I didn't even use context clues to understand what it might have meant. I just straight up read Batgirl instead of Batgirl. Yes, that is a very good fusion idea. Something much more coherent to write down than Batgirl. I really should do another fusion episode soon. I have gotten a lot of good ideas for fusions that I just haven't gotten to yet. It's weird, and I don't know if any artists are like who do any of the artists in this chat, but like there are a lot of times when I'm like, all right, cool. I have these so many ideas for videos I want to do. Then it comes time for me to pick an idea for a video, and I'm like, I have no thoughts ever. It's a little annoying at sometimes, but yeah, that's how it works usually, which is quite interesting. Oh. Please hold for a second. I left my water halfway across the room. All right, back to the chat. Wolverine confined with Baraka from Mortal Kombat, Nightwing with Daredevil. These are all really good ideas. That's not a pen. Okay. Wolverine plus Baraka, Nightwing, and Daredevil. Yeah, all 3 seasons? Wait, Sonic Prime has 3 seasons out? I'm assuming we're still on the Sonic Prime topic. Like I said, I promise I'll get better at reading and responding to chats in a more timely manner. I've never been, oh, would you look at that? Season 3 is out now. I guess I know what show I have to watch next. Another Death Battle vid, Nightwing and Daredevil. Oh, wait, I just realized if I'm going to have the twins in the next arc, that means I can bring back Frost Nova. Oh, yes, I remember Frost Nova. That would be so much fun. I lost where I was reading. I got an order of biscuits. Like I said, my family was making biscuits and they didn't eat all of them on me. I'm very grateful. Actually, those teeth should not be flush with one another. So we'll fix that. Haven't seen seasons 2 of 3 of Sonic Prime. Season 1 was really good. Season 2 definitely bumped it up on terms of action. I just really like the alternate dimension thing where it's like, oh, here are these same characters, but as pirates. Same characters as, I don't know, futuristic dystopia. I'm forgetting what most of the settings were, but like, one thing reimagined as another. I always like that kind of thing. If you couldn't guess that by the channel I run, where I reimagine things as other things. I think the less hygienic the more crooked we make her teeth, the scarier she's going to get. So straight lines do not matter here. And they matter. Okay, they matter a little bit. Batman and Scorpion. That would be cool. What would be really cool is combining characters from not Marvel versus DC. Mortal Kombat versus DC. Because although that game wasn't great, it still was a cool concept. I'm sorry you had to see that. It's typed in the comment as Batgirl. Oh, autocorrect. Excuse me for talking while eating. Yeah. That's my weekly schedule. I have topics, and until I have a video to do, I have zero main thoughts on a rough. That's exactly how it works. Hey, everyone. Hey, peeps. Everyone is leaving awesome ideas, but no one is leaving likes like this stream. To ensure to get on the list, and I'll ask them if not. Thank you. I appreciate the call to action for the likes, because it is. I always forget the number. I think it's like 20, and then YouTube's like, all right, this guy's kind of cool. Maybe we'll push out his content a little more. So, I'm not sure how many we're at currently, but whatever it is, let's get those numbers up. Although I think we're at like 30 viewers right now, which is a little mind-boggling, I will admit. But thank you everyone who's here. I kind of expected today to be a little bit of a smaller turnout just because I announced that I was doing the stream so late, because I just didn't know where I stood on in terms of like getting everything done for the week, because as I mentioned, we played through Poppy Playtime, me and my friends, yesterday, and the number one thing on my list today, oh wow, these are getting horrifically crooked and creepy. Perfect. Yeah, so as I mentioned, me and my friends played Poppy Playtime Chapter 3 yesterday, and so my top priority today was editing that video to make sure it got out for this week. And of course a thumbnail, so didn't know if I'd be able to finish all of that in time, but I did. And I'm also glad to be able to hear. Also, I was hesitant to make it because today is also one of my friend's birthdays, and I didn't know if he was doing anything for it. So I decided to hold off until I knew for certain, because one thing I don't want to do is be like, hey, we're doing a stream. Sorry, things like if something came up out of my control, then obviously, but I never want to promise it. Like, I want to try to avoid promising a stream and just being like, oh, sorry, things didn't go as planned. Like, I'm even like, I barely talked most of the day trying to regain my voice, because tomorrow I hope to do some recording and auditions for voice acting stuff. And if you believe it, having a voice is very helpful for voice acting stuff. I know it might not seem like it, but like having a voice like really increases your chances of getting roles for just pretty much anything. Unless it's a mime. If you have a voice and you're trying to audition for a mime, that's not going to do you any favors. So, yeah, just keep that in mind if you ever go out for any acting gigs. Voices are helpful, except for mimes. Alright, well, if Poppy Playtime didn't give me nightmares yesterday from the game, this sure will. I subbed, where's my cookie? I am unfortunately not Mr. Beast, so I do not have the power to provide cookies to everyone. I could if I would, but if you all want cookie recommendations, I don't know how well that would work, because I don't know if cookies available in my area are available in everyone else's. But I will say, Girl Scout cookies, very good, especially the Samoas, which are caramel and coconut. They're so good. I wish I had some now. What are your all thoughts on coconut? Because I am the only one in my family who likes them, and I know, or at least I think it's coconut's one of those divisive foods where it's like some people like it, other people cannot be bothered to eat it. And if you enjoy coconut, have you ever had, like, not shredded coconut, but an actual coconut, like the ones that, the ones you see in cartoons where it's like the shell and then the inner white part? Have you ever had a coconut like that? Because I have, and I don't think I ate it right. If I'm being completely honest, I don't think because I don't know, it was just way too hard to eat with your teeth, and I'm sure there was something I wasn't doing that I should have been. But yeah, big fan of coconut. Forest folk, New York pirates. I think, yeah, those were the main three. There was the forest ones, the dystopian ones, and the pirates. All really cool reimaginings of the Sonic characters, and really just it's just a fun series. I enjoyed it, and I can't believe I didn't know season 3 was out. I feel like I just watched season 2. Like I said, time might be the enemy. Time is also an illusion. Like, I honestly thought, like, or I didn't think, but it feels like Sonic Prime came out like a couple months ago, and now going back on it, it's probably been like a year. Okay, you shouldn't be all the way down here. That's not... Wait, what? Okay. Oh, wait. Huh? Okay. Huh? Okay, what? Yeah, perspective is throwing me off a little bit. Okay, so there's you, and then you go down like this, like that, and then you come around here. Good. But then you should also be like that and that. There we go. And then the tie goes in here. I find ties and bow ties very interesting to draw because they seem simple, but you have to get it right in order for it to make sense. I don't know, just an observation. Back to the chat. Yeah, Frost Nova is really awesome, and I'm excited for this next arc. I have 2 new characters planned for it, and I think they're both really interesting. I, for one, cannot wait to see them. I'm very interested in what characters you have coming up, because like I said, I have been blown away by your character designs, Kate and King, and I can't wait to see more of them, because so far they've all been amazing. And there's really, like, character designs and character concepts, too. Like, you have really good idea for, like, character backstories and stuff. I'm not going to spoil anything for anyone who wants to watch it, but Gabriel Isaac is a really cool one in terms of their character backstory. That one I really like. Transformer Power Rangers. I have a Power Ranger series on the channel that I don't know if I've been debating going back to, because the story technically is on a cliffhanger, but also I don't know. I don't like it was cool, and it'd be fun to see how much I've grown in my art style since then. I don't know. I've just been, for some reason, hesitant to go back to that. Oh, wow. That is terrifying. Let's get those sketch lines back in here for a little bit. I'm not ready to face that yet. Are the streams going to be regular Sunday night viewing? At this point, I think so. Or if I don't know if they're going to be regular Sunday night viewing, but I will say that if I have a stream for the week, it's most likely going to be on a Sunday. That is usually the one day of the week when I can guarantee I have nothing else going on. And so I don't have to worry about, like, oh, something for work coming in, or I have plans and I won't be able to do it this week, because most of my friends usually have stuff on Sundays. They have D&D, which is really cool. And I would love to play D&D one day, but I don't know how to. But D&D has become one of those games where I'm like, this looks really interesting. I want to play. But yeah, so mark it down, mark my words. If there's a stream, 9 times out of 10, it is going to be happening on a Sunday. And hopefully I can get into a rhythm where it's basically, you don't have to wait for an announcement. And it's just like, yeah, okay, it's Sunday. I know KyngPin's going to be streaming. But to start off, I think I'll still announce it just to get anybody in and anyone who's not familiar with the schedule, because I'm not familiar with the schedule. How long have we been going, by the way? Hour and a half? Yeah, I would say that's actually a normal. I feel like at this point, I feel like that finger's too big. I feel like during a normal video, this is where I would be. But then again, during a normal video, I'm usually doing full body shots. So the fact that we're only going basically waist up makes this a lot easier. Because shoes are something, or feet in general, are something I'm still learning to draw. Red Ranger Optimus Prime. Red Ranger Optimus Prime. Pink Ranger RC, I think that's how you say it. Black Ranger Ironhide. The black color scheme was from the Michael Bay movies. I haven't caught up with those. I've seen like the first one, actually. The first one. First Michael Bay Transformers. I've never seen a single one after that. It's actually crazy. I have waited too long and now the biscuits are cold. I'm calling them biscuits. They're actually croissants, so. But my point still stands. They have grown to room temperature. Today is a sad day. I was going to ask the same thing. Miles Morales, but man, Across the Spider-Verse combined with Static. Do you mean Static Shock? Sneaky Raptor Squad? Because Static Shock, I'm familiar with. I don't know if I know of a character just named Static, though. That being said, nope, lost the thought. Static Shock was a good TV show. The cartoon from, I want to say the early 2000s. That was a good show. I miss old TV. Like early 2000s cartoons. They were my childhood. Go figure. Every time I go back to her face, I'm more and more uneased. Oh! I don't actually know if this gets mentioned in the video, but if it does, there's weeks before it comes out. Going back to the story about the Miss Delight chase from when I was playing Playtime, I got so into it, I was scared to look away from the screen myself. Not like move the character to look away, but to look away from the screen myself in real life because I thought she would move. That's how horrifying that experience was. Well, it's getting late around my time zone. Have to start catching Z's. Catch you later. See you later, Galahound19. Glad you can join. Once again, so sorry I did not get to that message sooner. Voices are helpful except for mimes. KyngPin Creations 2024. Glad I'm quoted now. If anybody graduating high school soon and they need a senior yearbook quote, you have my permission to use that. You have my permission to let everyone know that voices are helpful except for mimes. What is the inside of your mace made of? It looks like tinfoil. If any of you have read Diary of a Wimpy Kid, if anyone remembers that thing that Manny made, which was the ball of tinfoil and toothpicks, that's what this looks like. That is 100% what this looks like right now. Oh, the flatting stage for this is going to be a nightmare. But it's okay. In fact, let me make sure I get this. Actually, no, I feel like let's do a reference at least. A perfect circle. If I make you this small, if I make you smaller than how I drew you, then you suddenly become a little bit more dangerous. Yeah. All right. Actually, I had a coconut before. Was a pain to get the coconut water out of it. I could imagine. I've had the actual coconut, everything, both of these are actual coconuts, but I've had an actual coconut, like the white inside part, whole, like directly from the coconut from the tree, not shredded or anything. And I've had coconut water. Coconut water wasn't my favorite, but drinking from a coconut was a fun experience. I didn't dump out the water, but I powered through drinking the water, and then I poured iced tea into the coconut and drank the iced tea out of the coconut instead. That was fun. Oh, that was so many years ago. My favorite character from season 1 was 9. I really need to watch seasons 2 and 3. Yeah, I got to catch up with season 3 now of Sonic Prime, because apparently it's out, and nobody from Netflix called me directly and told me, so I'm a little annoyed about that, but it's fine. I guess they just got busy and didn't let me know, but it's fine. It's okay. I thought I was special to them, but they've got other clients, I guess. They must have known I was watching Has Been Hotel on Amazon Prime and be like, that's a competitor. We're not calling you anymore. Figure it out for yourself that Sonic Prime has another season. How much longer am I going to make this joke go on for? MK characters in Wings of Fire. Scorpion as a Sandwing, who was later Animus touched by the evil Nightwing Animus Dragon. Shinnok after the Icewing organization Link Way, they killed his family. Correct me if I'm wrong. Wings of Fire is dragons, right? Or is it just a fantasy series with dragons? Because I remember hearing a name or something similar to that, like a book series with something similar to that kind of name years and years ago. But it really could just be like a Game of Thrones thing that I'm not familiar with. Because, what you'll learn about me, I haven't watched Game of Thrones either. I am not good at staying, like, being in the know-how with just anything that's going on in the media world. I'm genuinely surprised I've caught up with, or I've said it before, I'm genuinely surprised I've been keeping up with Digital Circus and Murder Drones and Has Been Hotel and Hell of a Boss. Actually, come to think of it, I don't know if I am caught up with Hell of a Boss. There might be a new episode out that I don't know about. I really loved making Gabriel Isaac and his backstory. He was the first character I made for the Organization Echo. Oh, that's awesome. I didn't know that he was the first one you made. That's really cool. That was a really cool arc. I like the twist in that one. Once again, not going to spoil it in case anyone wants to watch it themselves, but you did a really good job on that arc. It's alive and answering chat double triples when you would be... It's alive and answering chat doubles triples where you would be when I'm sorry. My brain short circuited there. It's a live and answering chat. Doubles/triples where you would be when you don't do the drawing and talking at the same time. At least that's what I find. I have two. I also have noticed that the not tomorrow's video, but next week's video, the art took a lot shorter than it usually does for me, which at least two of the three of them did, which I found very interesting. I don't know why that was the case, though. I can't wait to go back to this stream and just find out how long, time-wise, I've spent line arting these pencils. But I gotta say, I'm actually very happy with how the perspective and the angling of all of them came out. Although some of them are starting to look like crayons. Hopefully, once I get into shading, I'll be able to give them a little bit more dimension so they don't look flat. And hopefully they don't look cylindrical either. Like, I hope I can do the paneling on the side. Although I could have done that too. I didn't really like coconut water either. Yeah, there's something about... I'm not a big fan of flavored water, period. Like, I like water as it is. Adding anything to that just is kind of sours the taste. And I don't mean like actually makes it sour. I mean that metaphorically. Like, it makes it unpleasant. Like I can understand like the point of like why people would like it, but at that point I would just rather drink regular water. Speaking of which, when I heard you say MK, I thought you were talking about MK, the YouTube channel. I'm not familiar with that YouTube channel. What kind of content do they make? I see you're using Photoshop. Is it worth the money? That entirely depends on what you do with it. So I have been using Photoshop for, I would say, the better part of a decade. And before I started doing drawing, I was doing photo manipulation. So, actually, do I have anything like... No. I don't have anything that I can like show of what I mean by that, but like the things where like people take photos and they make them explode with effects and stuff. That's why I first started using Photoshop, and why I'm still using it. And then I moved over to drawing. So I can't give a definitive yes or no that Photoshop is worth it. Like I said, it entirely depends on what you use for it. For me, it's definitely worth the money because I can do drawing on here. I do my drawing on here. I do the thumbnailing for my videos and for for the boss level videos, which is the gaming channel I was talking about. Anything that I need to do editing wise. And for me too, I also have the bundle. So I have all of it. I have Photoshop, Premiere, Adobe After Effects, Audition, the whole 9 yards. And I believe I got it at a discount using my student ID. And so for me, it's worth it because of what I do with it. Because I do the drawing on Photoshop, the editing on Premiere, any special effects or infographics on After Effects, voice acting stuff on Audition. It's worth it for me because I have utilized it. If you don't think you're going to need it for that much stuff, then there are plenty of free alternatives. So, for example, if you don't want to spend money on Premiere,
there is a free editing software called DaVinci Resolve, which I've heard is very good. I've always been meaning to move over to it, but I just never got a chance to learn it. Sketchpad used to be free. I can't say it is anymore. I don't actually remember. But there are definitely free alternatives for a Photoshop / drawing program that you could use. As for Audition, for voicing and recording audio stuff, there's Audacity that you could use. In terms of special effects, I don't know too well off the top of my head, though. But, yeah, so long answer was that. Short answer, case-by-case basis of what you're going to be using it for. How much of this... Oh, I just didn't sketch her entire body yet. Good to know. How are we doing? How does this look? Well, that mace isn't... nothing here is connected. Nothing here is connected to one another. So, that's fun. I do hope that answered your Photoshop question. I did my best to keep it concise, and I failed. Alright. Pencils weren't as bad as I expected them to be. You need to actually connect to the hair, though. Ooh, that's a borderline tangent. Yeah, I'm interested to see how the rendering process is going to turn out for that one. Wait, Okay, there we go. Apple flavors, it is going pretty well. The drawing is turning out really good. At least in my opinion. I think so far we have the creepiness factor down, which I like. Pose could leave a little bit to be desired, but we are way past that point to fix that. Oopsies. It is okay. In terms of the live stream, going great. As long as I learn how to keep my answers to less than feature length. Ghost Rider with Danny Phantom. I don't know if it was Danny Phantom, but when Popcross did the design challenge back in September, I want to say, of last year, whenever it was, the design challenge, my original plan was Ghostface, I believe. I'm blanking. Ghostface, Ghost Rider, and Ghost Freak, I think it was, or Danny Phantom. It was one of the two. And it was going to be like a whole ghost-themed fusion character, which would have been cool. Unfortunately, I had... that was around the time I had gotten into murder drones. And so, as my current hyperfixation, I'm like, nope, really want to do one with that. So, kind of threw the whole ghost idea out the window. Although I still really love how that one turned out. Especially the fact that I got to animate it too. Where I made like the wings flapping and stuff. That was cool. The flowering got a little worse, but it's okay. I want to make sure I include this, because this, I really like the ripped fabric. Sweet Tooth and Joker. Another really cool fusion combination. I'm going to write that one down.
because I categorize Sweet Tooth kind of like this. It's that sense of horror where it's just like that weird, creepy smile. What was the other one? Sweet Tooth and Joker. Also, did you know that every voice and sound effect is done by me without any modifications, like no voice changer, no soundboard? That I didn't know at first. I think I only learned that when you mentioned it a little while ago, Caden. That you like even when you're re-showing a scene as part of the story, you re-record that scene instead of just reusing the footage, which I thought was really cool. But yeah, that's awesome that you can do all of that without sound effects or modifications. Because I do my best for the, like the other, what's it called? Nope, forgot it. Oh yeah, when it comes to different character voices, but sometimes I do have to put a little touch up on their voices. Like, unfortunately, I can't make, no, that wasn't Alistair. That was straight up Benny Sharp. Entertainment. When it comes to Alistair, I unfortunately can't make the radio effects myself. That was all done through editing. One of those eyes is much bigger than the other one. Unless... Whoa, how'd that second eye get there? That's so weird. Also, she is very much... Like, I haven't drawn the full eyes yet, but she's very much looking downward. A little bit, but it kind of works, so I'm okay with it. Oh. Oopsies. I accidentally hit learn more on something. I just got a pop-up for, like, Adobe brush settings. Oh, is that it? Did we do the whole line art? I think we did. Go us. Sweet. All right. Then almost 2 hours? Okay. I'll be honest. I don't know what to do from here. Let's catch up with the chat, and we'll decide if we pick this up next week or we finish it today. Because we still technically have a bit to get through. But like I mentioned at the start, my voice is not a tip-top shape today, so I want to also be mindful of that. So much more happier with that arm placement. All right, let's do this. I almost said Wings of Dragon. Wings of Fire series is a book series about dragons. I knew it. I knew it sounded familiar. Photo manipulation, so graphic design, etc., and motion graphics and animations from flat images. Yeah. Also, good. I'm glad you brought that up. I also use Illustrator for logo design, so those are like 5-6 programs that I all use. So for me, it's worth it, but it's definitely on a case-to-case basis. Photokinesis, very fun. There's 2 Wings of Fire prequel books called Wings of Fire Legends Books Dark. Interesting. I might have to check them out because I'm always looking for good books to read. And I don't read a lot of fantasy, but I'm always open to it. I do love it. I do love fantasy. I just never got around to reading it for some reason. MK which is pronounced MK, is a channel that has a couple people as the narrators, and they read posts from Reddit. And they've done a couple videos for our boss fight. I definitely do want to make another our boss fight
video. I've been scrolling through that subreddit, and there's definitely more boss fights I want to try. Does the size of her mace look too small? Something about the mace is throwing me off. I don't know. We'll figure it out. I use DaVinci Resolve. Sketchbook Pro used to. There's GIMP on desktop. That's the one. There was one I was thinking of, but I couldn't think of the name. Yeah. GIMP, I believe, is also a free program. Also, Dempsey, how is DaVinci Resolve? Like, how easy is it to use? Because I've been meaning to, like I said, I've been meaning to transfer over. Stalker and Dragon Slayer, Book 1 and 2. If you have an iPad Pro and an Apple Pencil, Procreate is the best. I've heard a lot from Procreate. My friend, one of my friends actually uses Procreate to draw, and his art is amazing. He also helps out. Actually, he does. I'm the one who helps out. He does most of the work for the boss level thumbnails, and I just add a little bit of graphic design to it. Thanks for answering my question about Photoshop. Also, I'll definitely look into DaVinci Resolve. Awesome. I'm glad I can help, even if helping was a little bit of a long answer, a roundabout answer. KyngPin Creations, use Liquify to fix the inks and pose if you need to before flatting. That's a good idea. I think overall I'm pretty happy with the pose. I might transfer that mace to go behind her head rather than in front. That's the one thing, and I might make her head a little bit smaller. It's looking a little big right now. It's weird because it looks like she's, like, my intention was to go up and swinging it. But now she looks like, it looks more like she's about to stab the sharp end into you, which probably happens somewhere in the game, but we haven't encountered that. My bad, spelt it wrong. It's MK. Oh, okay, yeah. Still not familiar with that, but when you said boss fight, I have to check them out there. I love that subreddit so much. You do all the voices. I had to use some editing on some for variants of them, but wow. Yeah, Caden King does all the voices, which is absolutely insane, especially because there are so many characters within the stories that, like, I can't believe you were able to do all of them. It's probably jumping forward, I guess. Yeah, I guess, like, she was supposed to be winding up back, but I'm okay with making a jumping forward. Definitely needs a smaller head, though. Yeah, Dempsey, I do all the voices myself, and I definitely ride a range of voices. I'm excited to try the voice for one of the new characters I'm about to introduce. Finding voices for characters is always fun. I will admit that. Like, it's a little difficult, especially, I don't know if I mentioned Marcus Plague last time, but Marcus's voice was very difficult to come up with, because if it... I'm not actually... I will say, I'm not going to reveal it, but Marcus Plague is based off of a real person, in which I tried to model the voice and character after. The voice went through a little bit of tweaks, but the character of Marcus Plague is modeled after somebody, and the name is a hint as to who it is. That's all I'm going to say for now. I'm sure I'll reveal it later, but right now... Oh! Forgot about you. Where's that pesky eye? There it is. Where's merge? Merge layers. Okay, that just made it worse because now it looks like she has massive shoulders. Maybe just like a tad. There we go. Much better than Miss Delight the Rock Johnson. Yeah. That looks much better than what it was before, so happy to neck. All right. Wait, I still need you. You are a color reference at this point. There, Nikolai says there are humans in Wings of Fire, but the dragon characters call them scavengers, and the human scavenger characters think that the dragons are just animals driven by instinct, mentioned in World of Fire Legends Dragon Slayer. That sounds really cool. How many, like, how long is the book series? Because I'm interested to, I might pick that up. It sounds very interesting. I just need to find time to read. I haven't picked up a book in many weeks. I need to get back into reading Soul Eater. I use Procreate sometimes. It's all right, but I prefer IBS Paint. I think that's how you say it. Maybe because I'm more used to it. That's my thing. I've always wanted to make a video like, oh, trying out different art programs. I'm just scared to try the new ones. That's also why I haven't gone into DaVinci yet, DaVinci Resolve, because I'm just it is the fear of just being like, hey, I've become accustomed to this layout and this way of things. I don't want to have to relearn all of that over again. But I've heard it's much more streamlined and better than Premiere, so I know I probably should. That is not the right color of blue at all, but it also might be the lighting. But you're much more green. I'm really glad like I'm doing this now instead of earlier, because this week's video I've gotten really good at texturing. And so doing all this wear and tear on her is so much less daunting. That is nowhere near the color you need to be. Color matching is hard. Like last week, Gangle was easy. It's just like, okay, red and a kind of off-white. These are the type of colors you go to a paint store and they're like Swedish field of grass, or the Pacific Ocean, specifically at longitude, whatever. You know what I mean? Like those oddly specific colors. Because, like, yeah, this is blue, but not really. It's this weird teal green. This is like a muted yellow, kind of, but it's also got a little bit of brown in it. This is just nightmare fuel, and that's like Goldilocks blonde. But if I color pick it, no, it's more on the orange side. It's so weird. But I'm just gonna. Also, I feel like color like doing this is cheating, so I try to avoid that. Also because I want to get better at color picking, but yeah, color picking or color matching, I should say, is very hard. If you check out a few channels with tutorials on YouTube, it can be easy. Free version has tons of features for 90% of YouTube video editing. I upgraded to the full version recently. Okay, that's cool. I did not know there was a full version. I just kind of thought DaVinci Resolve is like, hey, check it out. We got a free editing program. That's cool, right? But yeah, I definitely will check out some tutorials. Are there any you recommend? Like, any channels that you're like, if you want to learn, go here? Because I would be interested in widening my portfolio in programs I'm proficient at. I use Procreate for my art videos and the lives. Yep. I've wanted to test Procreate, but that lack of keyboard, like I said, scares me. What are your sleeves are a yellowish white. Just like Daisy petals? Is daisy the right word? Your arm is thick, I'm just realizing that. And you're like a really light wood, so something like that maybe? Hey, that might actually be the first color I picked correctly. Also, I don't know if any of you have noticed this in my videos. It gets a little muddied, but I do like to lay down a flat, or not a flat, but like a rough thing of colors just to see how it's going to look. It takes a little bit of extra time, but even though like the way I do flatting, I can always just go through and change colors with no extra hassle, but it's just good to have a clear idea of where you're going in terms of the next step, if that made any sense. Understandable. Getting used to new art programs is not easy. That is definitely for sure. Like even years ago I went from iMovie to Premiere, and that was an experience. I believe the first video I forget exactly what the first video I edited was, but I think it was like Snake.io or Solitaire were one of the two gaming videos I first edited on Premiere. Yeah, I should write that down. Maybe we could do that for boss level. Let me ask you all a question. If any of you watch Let's Play channels, if a Let's Play channel did one of Solitaire, would you watch that? Because I don't know. I am going way too pink for what is supposed to be muscles and tendons. Even you are just kind of... No, you're like a salmon. I need a salmon color. But like a dark salmon. Yeah. Yeah, and then we muddy that up. Also, this is a wooden, plastic, whatever doll. Why does it have muscles and teeth and moving parts? I don't want to know about the lore implications of this. Your teeth are in a horrible condition. Like, when was the last time you brushed? Seriously. Just... How are you going to take care or frighten children or whatever you were supposed to do if your teeth look so bad? Like, come on, get it together. Yeah, and then all of this is just not hit by any light. I've made it worse. I've made it so creepy and horrifying. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. This just got sufficiently awful in terms of, you know, like being horrifying. It's not actually like I don't think the piece is bad. I need that off-white again. Oh, you're the off-white. Even though you should be a little more muddied. What color are you? So you're that. This is... I can't look at that face anymore. I think you're green. I think you're part of the... Yeah. Alright. The Wings of Fire seriously is currently at 15 books. The Legend series is at 2 books, and the graphic novel adaptation is 6. Legends is not one of the graphic novels. Okay. I hope my submission will inspire you even when I don't get in. I really love this redraw submission. Thank you. I'm glad people are responding well to the redraw submission. Like, I know, Dempsey, you really liked it when I mentioned it on your stream. A friend of mine thought it was a really good idea, and everyone who's submitted so far has seemed to like it. So I'm glad the first one could be a winner. Because I'll be honest, I think I was recording the video, whichever one I announced it in. I think it was Has Been Hotel Pokemon. But I recorded it, or I was in the middle of recording. I'm like, and the redraw prompt is, I don't have one. And then I had to go through and be like, what do I do for a redraw? What do I do for a redraw? What do I do for a redraw? And yeah, Anime Pro Tag just came into my head. I don't exactly know why it did, but it did. Alright, I'm not going to individually scribble out each of these pencils. I think I can come to a pretty good conclusion in terms of what to do for flatting. Alright. Let's give this a shot, because I'm not set on these colors. I'm also not set on the light source. I do know, like, something like if you go straight on, the light source will make it look uncanny. So like heavy shadows around the edges, but most of this just in light. That could work. Also, that jaw is so dislocated. I'm just noticing that. But it is okay. That just means she's creepier. A good artist knows how to retcon their mistakes. There we go. But I would love a graphic novel version of Wings of Fire Legend. It sounds like a really cool book series. 15 books is a lot, but like whatever you need to tell your story, I'm all for. Yeah. It's a rough one to... This was a rough color to start off with because not much of it is seen throughout the whole piece. Like the skin would have been... Or the skin or the hair would have been a better one to start with. DaVinci Resolve is free, but not all the features are in it. For art videos, the free is definitely more than enough. I search for what I want later, but I can fire links later. Awesome. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate that. Thank you. I wanted to do some more advanced stuff for fun. Totally understandable. Like a lot of the way my long form videos are laid out is just because I kind of wanted to just avoid unnecessary cuts between things where it's like, oh, here's the intro to the video. Cut to the whatever it's called, the actual video itself, from the title card to the actual beef of the video. And then between each result, I'm like, wouldn't it be cool if it transitioned from one to the other? And so I came up with all those graphics. And then I'm really proud of the episode specific ones I have. So like for the SCP one, the reveal is the file being thrown on the table, and it has all the information behind the main picture. And then for the Demonomicon, for my Demons episodes, which I really want to bring back at some point soon because those characters are really fun, where I have the page turn and it's like, here's the thing, here's the result of the art. That one, that might be my favorite. I already chose your color. Why am I going through to picking it again? So yeah, I can always understand wanting to do more and more advanced stuff. I would if the player had the right personality. Yeah. Hey KyngPin, how have you been enjoying the story of the Anti-7 channel, which are supposed to be the counterparts to this thing? I have been really enjoying it. Like I said, I did fall a little behind, but I did catch up, and it's been really good so far. I think, like, the fact that you're running 2 channels is very impressive, but the fact that they are also technically part of the lore. The fact that they're on their own channel to tell their own side of the particular story, I think that's really cool. You're doing a great job with it so far. I also try not to color pick straight from the reference. I think that's choosing the colors just by looking at reference helps me better understand the colors. That's exactly it. It's definitely like, because there's going to come times when I can't color pick the reference. Like, let's say I want to, I don't know about it really. Like, I've always wanted to try traditional painting, but unfortunately, traditional painting doesn't have an eyedropper tool. So it's not like you're like, I want to paint a tree. Touch the tree and you suddenly gain what color it is. Though that would be awesome. That would be, imagine that. You can just touch something and you know the actual exact color it is. We should start investing in that. There we go. Keep going. It will turn out epic if you're hating the stage, trust me. Thank you. I really appreciate it, Dempsey. I'm liking how it's turning out so far, and once the final piece hits, I'm sure we'll be good. I just don't know if my voice can handle going for as ever long as this takes, because flatting, at least for normal videos, is about the same length as a sketching stage. So yeah, we might be here a while. But I also don't want to at some point just be like, all right, well, let's end it here, and then next week we come back and it's like an hour-long stream. Although, if that's the case, I could always just be like, all right, well, let's do something else real quick for that stream. Or we can get a head start on the next one. Maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll do the flatting now, and then come back and do shading next time. Because those pencils, I know, are going to take a long while. So I think that's the plan going forward. Yeah, I think we'll finish flatting today and then pick this up next week to finish it off. Because it's not, we haven't spent much time on it now, but the rendering stage to get all those details and the gums and the teeth and the tinfoil-esque of the mace, that's going to take a lot longer than usual in terms of whatever it's called, in terms of rendering than it would for a usual video. Because I keep mentioning tomorrow's video, and I'm sorry, I'm just really excited for it. Usually a drawing will take me 3 to 4 hours. Each one of tomorrow's videos took me at least 6.5 hours. Because there was just so much detail involved in the rendering stage that it took so much longer. So, and also it's a splash image, so we're also gonna, I really want to make a cool flashy background, so we'll get to the flatting, and then make it a sequel. Because if you, all good things must come in twos. You can quote me on that one too. Every Disney princess would have a heart attack looking at this monstrosity. I'm not even exaggerating when I say I almost had a heart attack looking at this monstrosity when I was playing it the other day. The other day, it was fully yesterday. Mistelight has a weird weapon of choice. I couldn't agree more. I didn't know what this thing was when I was playing it. And in the dark room of wherever you are in that point of the game, it looked like she had a sea urchin on a stick. Because maces are cool, but they don't... I'm going to pull this in from the internet. But as you can see, a mace... Oh, there goes her head. A mace doesn't have that many spikes on it. So, like... If you compare them, look how much more pointy hers is as composed to a traditional mace. And seeing this in the darkness where it's literally all you can really see is a silhouette, you have no idea what you're supposed to be looking at there. So yes, definitely an unconventional weapon of choice. For super creepy, do light from below so the top is darker. Yeah, that's usually what I do when I do like demons or SCPs. I always make it below. But I also heard, like, I forget where it was, but from like the Barbie movie or something, that they intentionally made everyone backlit because lighting from the back is a lot more appealing than light directly in the face. So that's where, at least that's where my thought process was for that. It might not be true, but oh well. Mr. Light does move in darkness, so maybe it could be something like a flashlight on them. Oh, sorry. It's possible. I'll be honest, I'm still not really sure the exact mechanics of how Mr. Light works. I know that spending 30 minutes trying to complete the level only to die and then going back to the front, the actual start, gets infuriating after a while. Gets very, very infuriating. Just focused on the face. Now this redraw prompt you can use, draw your own Owl House or Sonic character and fuse them. That would actually be cool. Maybe not Owl House and Sonic specifically, but give 2 different prompts for 1 month. And I mean, you can't control how balanced it would be, but like hope it ends up balanced. And then choose 1 from each category to combine. I actually really like that idea. 2 prompt fusions. Idea has been written down and credited to the correct person. This is Dempsey, or any artist who work digitally. How do you do your flatting stages? Because the way I do it gets really tedious when there's a lot of like small lines like that where I had to go up and down the pencils multiple times. So I'm curious as to like the process you use to flat your colors. I know it's probably different program to program, but I am intrigued to learn. Yeah, especially see like I'm not always in the dead center of the line, and so sometimes the colors accidentally bleed over. Or sometimes they just don't get in there in the first place. All right, no problem, Chainsaw Hunter. Thank you so much for joining. Have to leave. It's super tired, and it's 2 a.m. Had fun being here, though. I'm glad you were here, too. It's been super fun chatting with everyone. And, yeah, 2 a.m. Go get some sleep. Yes, please bring back 50 and 51. I remember 51 reminded me a lot of Eddie Smith. Yeah, I remember that. I remember 51 was supposed to be a lot more, like, same personality, but voice-wise was supposed to be a lot more... Oh, God, I don't know if I can do it with my voice. a lot more like rock and roll, like a little more raspy. But he just kind of got up here, and he's still easygoing. And nah, the voice is slipping from me currently. Stale croissants. But yeah, I remember you said 51 reminded you of Eddie, which is awesome. And I'm starting to notice that I've just made horrible nightmares. That was the worst thing I've ever seen. I'm also starting to notice the voice that Marcus Plague currently has sounds like Benny Sharp from Popcross, which was not my intention. But it did end up being that way. And I noticed that while I'm recording. I'm like, I sure hope he doesn't mind. Because I really like doing voice acting, like, even outside of the channel. But, like, you only have so much range. So, or I only have so much range. So, trying to voice so many characters yourself and give them all unique voices, not as easy for me as other things. But like voicing with a group of people, like playing video games with my friends, that becomes much easier to get a distinct voice for each person because there's just not as many that you're carrying. And also, you can recycle voices from game to game. Can't exactly do that in an overlying plot across multiple videos on one channel. How long until you make another Pixar characters as DC villains episode? That's a tough question. A lot of things, like depending on like a lot of sequels, usually depend on how well people react to the first one of them. And Pixar villains as Pixar as DC villains hasn't been the best reaction, but also hasn't been the worst. So I would probably put that in a poll of like, hey, what video would you like to see this week? And if people vote for that, it would win. But overall, I don't know. People seem to have enjoyed it. So, and people gave me a lot of really good ideas too. So maybe I will do another one. I just don't have a specific time frame of when that will be. The Anti-7 channel is for the villains, and Tales of the Multiverse is mainly for Team Multiverse and other characters. Yeah, that's really cool. I like the double storytelling of it, because it'd be easy to just be like, okay, here's the hero's side of the story, and every so often we'll see what the villains are doing. But it's like, here is the same story progressing from two different viewpoints, and it's a really cool method of storytelling, because now you have a whole another cast of characters to work with to convey information to the audience, instead of just having to rely on like some weird like reaching things for a way to for someone to figure out the information. Now you can be like, hey, it makes sense for the audience to know this information now because these villains would know that information, which is really cool. Every time I turn on the rough color layer, I get frightened. It's not a pretty sight. Also, I don't know when the last time I saved was, number one. And two, I really got to start naming these layers. these are some. This definitely. Oh my god, it's every color is making it creepier and creepier by the second. It's awful. But that just means we're doing it right. I always find that I often don't link the inks as I know I need to work on them. And they don't always look great once they have just inked line art. But once I render the colors and lighting, yeah, the piece always, in my opinion too, the piece always comes together in the lighting. Like, I know there's things you can do. Like, I've seen, I don't know, I know Popcross did it at one point. I don't know if he still does. But like in the inking stage, he'll like black out certain parts of the drawing that aren't affected by light. And then that just makes the inking stage look a lot more, I guess polished is the right word. I've been trying, or like I've been looking into doing that. I just don't know where the right places to put the black ink would be. And I'd also be lying if I said I didn't forget it when recording a video and then I finished the inks. I'm like, all right, cool, now onto flatting. Instead of like, all right, let me just black out some of these areas real quick. That's gonna... Yeah, there's so much bleed in that one. These lines are so thin. But luckily, I'm live streaming, so I can zoom in just a little bit. Yeah, like, look how much bleed this is. Granted, none of this is noticeable from a distance, but I still want to give high quality. Ever thought about making a Patreon account, KyngPin? I have, and technically, KyngPin Creations does have a Patreon account. I just don't exactly know what I would put on it. Because, like, I really like a podcast talking about the artwork that Popcross does. But I also don't want to just blatantly take that idea from him. So I've been tossing it over in the back of my head of like, oh, what could I do for a Patreon? Just for a little extra content. And so far I've been coming up blank. So I'm open to suggestions, but I just, at the moment, I've had nothing to put on there to justify launching it to the public. And Nightmare. It's, oh my gosh. I don't. It's fine. It's fine. It's just a little bit of crazed, deranged teacher. Never hurt anyone except me when I was playing the game for an hour and a half last night and wasn't able to finish the game in the recording session because of her. But other than that, never hurt anyone. Yeah, the front teeth would be the ones lit up the most. They probably made that because their last class was medieval weapons. Ah, man, I wish my school offered a medieval weapons class. That would be so cool. I'm not lying. That would actually be so much fun. All I got to learn about was the history of art. I got to see paintings of medieval weapons, but never actually any medieval weapons themselves. Quite a shame. Imagine that one day you come home from school. Hey, what'd you do in school today? I made a sword. Oh, that's nice. All right, now we're getting into that problem we got last stream where it's the dark colors and the bright light right off to the side of me are contrasting, and I'm going, like, I'm losing sight of what the colors are. Also, I hate that these bottom teeth are not connected the way the top teeth are. Like, there is clear gum space between each of these teeth. Also, the teeth are very 2D, I'm noticing, but that's okay. That is what shading is for. Okay. Getting real distracted with the art. Let's keep up on chat, because I know it keeps coming, and I am falling behind. Pretty porcelain doll-like. I got on the ink layer, select everything outside of the character, invert it, and make a white version on the layer under the inks filled. Then I use a clipping mask on layers above the white filled color. Can be any color but looks better on the videos. Then I can be a bit lax around the character outline as I take care of the inner details. All colors on a layer of their own. Yeah, definitely. Then I can alpha lock the transparency and add a bit of gradient over that flat color in the layer. Then multiply and add layers for shadows and highlights. Yeah, all on their own layers. Yeah, that's roughly what I do. It's just that this first, I think you have an extra step, Dempsey, before like the inverting and making the white layer mask. I think I used to do that, but I have not in a long time. Maybe that might make the process easier. I apologize for the awkward silence while I eat my biscuits, croissants. The question I was reading while doing that was, do you think everyone who fought against Thanos in Avengers Endgame could beat MonsterVerse Godzillas? Personally, I'd say no. I don't think like that's a lot of firepower and is a lot of firepower from the Avengers, but I guess it would also depend on how many MonsterVerses or like how many Godzilla monsters we're talking about. And I guess it also depends who's writing the script. But personally, I don't think so. I think that's a little bit higher than an Avengers level threat. Yeah. So, I'd love to hear what the chat thinks, but I personally do not believe the Avengers could beat Godzilla monsters, or a multitude of Godzilla monsters, because you wrote MonsterVerse Godzilla, so just one. They might have a better chance if it's just Godzilla, but if it's multiple, then I don't believe so. Just my honest opinion. They do some damage, but I think they ultimately, at least the first go around, they ultimately would not be able to take care of it. At least not take care of it in an efficient manner. There would definitely be so much destruction. Probably more destruction than if they had just left Godzilla alone. I'm liking how this is coming together. This I'm noticing is a little patchy in the line work. but I think I'm okay with that. The apple and the tie seem to be the same shade of red, so that makes my life easy. I don't have to add another layer. Looking good. And then I believe the petals and the collar are the same shade of white too. Redraw prompt, draw my own little My Little Pony character and can redraw it as a superhero or supervillain. That would be cool. That's not a bad idea. I'm going to write that down. My Little Pony redraw. Sorry for the message spam, but 200 character limit means a lot of... Oh, I didn't even know there was a character limit. But no, you're A-okay on that one. It's alright, you only gave me a slight headache. Have you not turned on Photoshop's auto-saving every X minutes in the settings? You know what? I haven't. I'm going to write down to do that. I'm running through sticky notes like crazy. Photoshop interval auto-save and Photoshop... What was it? Max undo setting. Because I'll be honest, I forgot to turn on that one after the stream too that you mentioned, MC. Yeah, it's really fun video on one channel, goes into the video on the other channel. Really like that during this arc. Yeah, it's really cool. KyngPin scaring himself with his own art. It's creepy! Look at this thing! Like, it's not natural. Oh, good. The white eyes made it worse. How big? Oh, wow. The whites of your eyes are tiny. I don't know what it is. Blacked out eyes with a tiny white dot in between makes it so much creepier. Thanks for the comment 2 days ago. It was nice having another artist comfort me a bit while I'm still struggling at my channel. Absolutely. You don't have to thank me for that. Good artists support other artists. That is my thing. It's a nerve-wracking experience starting a channel, and you know, the internet is not the friendliest place. And so I just want to make sure everyone who can do amazing work has a platform to do their amazing work. And, you know, if you just need a little boost of confidence, then obviously, because I wouldn't be where I am without a boost of confidence and help from other artists. So it's nice to pass it forward. If any of that made sense. I'm trying to remember back to last week. Did I not do something? Or was... I mean, it was less complicated. But the fact that I was able to finish that in whatever it was, like 3.5 hours. And yet we haven't even reached the rendering stage on this one in that same time. Very curious as to how that difference in process works. But there's also a lot more detail on this one, I can acknowledge. The other one was red and white, and this has like 20 different colors from Sunday. Wow, that got really muted really fast. Alright, it looks like the only thing we have left are the eyes, which are a slighter... I think it would be lighter. Still muddy, but just a tad lighter. Tad yellower. Tad yellower. I don't even know where the gradient is, I'm going to be honest. Because you're probably, like, huge. Nope, you're not. Nope. Something like that works. That is horrifying. That is horrifying. Alright, I'm going to make you a little lighter and then roughly use the same gradient for the eyes. I think, though, a better thing than radial would be to do a reflected. Yeah, too much. My problem with the gradient tool on Photoshop is this angle picking thing is so sensitive. Like you have to know the exact angle you want, or else it is facing the entire wrong direction. Ah. I tried to move over to the chat. I forgot the lasso tool was still selected. Okay. Danny Phantom Static Shock. Yep. I believe I did write that one. No, I have American Dragon. So let me add static. There we go. Yep, got that one. For your fusion suggestion, Sneaky Raptor Squad. She's a teacher, not a hygienist, so I guess it's all right. It's all right if you're not the one looking at her. Croissants must be incredibly nice to eat. Never really ate one in a hot minute, but I had cream puffs once. Cream puffs are good, and I wish I could say I've had a croissant in a hot minute. I just haven't had a hot croissant in a minute. Because they're cold now. They're still delicious. Just not burn your mouth hot. Which is a little unfortunate, but it is okay. That's why we have microwaves. I think it would be fun to watch Godzilla solo the entire MCU. I'm sure Disney owns the rights to a Godzilla monster or two. They can make that happen. Kevin, call me. Kevin, come join the chat. We got great ideas. Think about it. Phase 6, or whatever they're on, of the MCU. Nothing but Godzilla. Just full on MCU goes kaiju. Now that is a movie I would watch. The no-nose is really making it work. Like, the fact that the gums go directly into the forehead really make it a rough look. Alright, you are pencil yellow, so grab you a little more. Captain Marvel could kick Godzilla. Doctor Strange could just send a big meteor. Could send Big G to the mirror dimension. You know what? These are all very salient points. Am I using that word correctly? Salient? Salient points. Salient points of facts or situations are the most important ones. I did use it correctly. You make very salient points, and you're probably right. So, given the context and the circumstances of the battle, I think, depending on which Avengers are in the battle, they could take on a Godzilla. Still don't think they could do it without much destruction, but that's just the Avengers' way of life. Oh, also, question for anyone. What is the most random fact you know? It's probably that the Twitter birds... The most random fact I know... Oh, my gosh. Slugs... You might want to research this because I could be getting the fact wrong. But slugs have 4 sets of eyes. Learned that from a Snapple cap. one of the hardest things about art is randomization. I have no idea which pencils are going to be which colors, and I have no idea how to make it look like it was random. So this one, we'll do this one. We'll do this. No, that's too close. We'll do this one. We'll do this one. Ah, they're yellow. That's not right. There we go.
If you have the opportunity to make a video game, what would it be? I'm going to circle back to that one just so I can keep up with the chat, but that is a good question. I will admit it is very creepy. I will take that as a compliment. The white dots in the black part of the eyes is a reference to FNAF. Yeah, it is. If the eyes were even more blacked out, then it would be even more FNAF. I feel like Miss Delight would bonk a kid on the head with her makeshift mace instead of giving them a smiley face sticker. Oh, as somebody who's been in the company of Miss Delight, she would undoubtedly bonk you on the head. Many times. So many times. Alright, I think that's enough for the green. We'll move on to blue, and what I'm going to try to do is keep the saturation the same and just move to a different hue. Like that. That looks good. Alright. And I'm going to go with red, blue, yellow, and green pencils, because that's the 4 main ones I see from the reference image. And also anymore, it's just getting absolutely ridiculous. Like, come on. Most of them are going to be covered in red blood anyway, so might as well just make all of them red at this point. Yeah. The more I think about how much we have to do, the more I'm like, yeah, this is definitely a 2-part. This is going to take, this might be somewhere closer to the 6-hour mark. Because we're already on 2 hours and 50 minutes and have not gotten done with the flatting yet. That would be a traumatizing experience. She 100% would without question. All right, hear me out. This could be an all right idea. Take mascot horror game. Characters and turn their designs into Monster Hunter armors. That would be cool. Like, I don't know specifically what a Monster Hunter armor is. A Monster Hunter armor is in relation to a fantasy armor. Like, I don't know what the difference would be, but that is a... Oh, that's not the right color. I really like that idea. Yeah. But yes, let me write that down. Where did it go? Mascot horror as Monster Hunter armor. And if you say it the right way, it kind of rhymes. Mascot horror as armor. Yeah. No, Disney doesn't have the rights for Godzilla, only Warner Brothers. Ah. That's unfortunate. Because that would have been a really cool movie to see. Playing Deadpool Advocate, Godzilla is a walking nuclear reactor. Hulk is a gamma reactor. Hulk could break the mirror dimension in some universes. Godzilla might be able to do that in theory.
Oh no. That sounds horrifying. Make the red a little more saturated. That just reminded me I have a kaiju character that I haven't done much with. Yeah, I would love to see a kaiju character. That would be really cool. I say go for it, Caden King. Random fact, in one U.S. state, you are not legally drunk if you can still hold on to the curb even if you're passed out. Old law things. Apparently, I heard it's true. Oh. Well, that's such a weird fact. I don't know how to react to that one. Did I do this wrong? Are we going to have an unnatural amount of yellow pencils? I mean, I could always go back and add more if I need to. I also really don't want to do two of the same color, like air quotes, touching each other, like I did here already. So there goes that. There goes that plan. Oh my gosh! I just realized trying to put in the back color is going to be a pain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 yellow ones. I'm okay with that. Make the U a little lighter. All still within the rough same color palette, so I'm okay with that. Unfortunately, I have to wait till next Sunday to leave more fusion ideas. It's my bedtime. All right. Well, good night, Sneaky Raptor Squad. Thank you so much for joining. I'm glad you could give some ideas. I know you're probably not in the chat because I take forever to answer, but I appreciate it, and I will be adding those ideas to my idea list once the stream ends. Good night. Scarlet Witch will use her magic to stop Goji. Thor uses Stormbreaker on Godzilla. Ant-Man turns into Giant and punches the big G straight in the face. These are all very good points. I was thinking like Spider-Man, Iron Man, Captain America. I'm like, they don't stand a chance. And you've just given me 5 examples of how wrong I was. So, touche. I think the Avengers have a much bigger chance of beating Godzilla than I initially thought. Also, I'm remembering that the question was everyone who was in Avengers Endgame. So, yeah, if it's one Godzilla monster against all of them, they might be the winners. I probably should zoom out at some point. I feel like I've lost sight of the piece a little bit. We'll do that after we do the final color. But the others don't stand a chance. Fantasy armor is usually beast, and the metals it has. Monster Hunter armor uses more of the monster. Okay. That sounds interesting. I might do that. Because I'm a pretty big fan of most of the mascot horror games. Some of them I haven't played. Most of them I haven't played. And just watched other people play through it. But I'm interested in a lot of the concepts. Even though all of them usually have something to do with dead children for some reason. It's like a common trope of mascot horror. Is the children have to die if you want to be successful. That was a horrible out of context quote. We're gonna move on to a different. We're gonna move on to a different chat now. Yeah, Apocalypse is definitely a really cool character. I'd like to use more. Yeah, that sounds really cool. No. Why did I do that? Why did I think that would work? That was dumb. There we go. I've lost sight. There we go. I was going to say I've lost sight of my layers. I don't know what anything is anymore. I mean, just look at all the colors we have. Look at this. There's so many colors. Just thought of a way you can make it easier in Photoshop. Just magic wand the inside of the ink layer, expand by 2 or 3 pixels, and then fill on the layer you want it on. And if it works as inks, it should have no open lines. In theory, that could work. Unfortunately, my inks have so many open lines. It's something I'm trying to get better at, but it would require a lot of cleanup. I'll give it a shot next time. But I definitely know that, like, I've noticed that my inking is a bit of chicken scratch, for lack of a better word. Oh my gosh. There's so many pencils. Quick, make a YouTube clip of KyngPin saying, I'm not going to say it again because that would just be fueling the fire. But yes, for saying that. If I may ask, anyone can answer, what is a bird-like animal that is usually depicted as weak? My mind I want to say pigeon. But like that's only in like comparison to other birds that it's air quotes weak. I don't know. That is a tough question. What is a weak bird? Has anyone else answered? I've shown him before, and Gabriel Isaac has done it by her. Ah, okay, I remember it. I do remember Apocalypse now. But yeah, definitely. I say if you want to do more with him, go for it. Alright, so now we got the graphite of the pencils, which is like a dark color, like here. In fact, I might just make that the color of the ball, too. Nah. If I do that, it's gonna blend in. Do I need to do it, or can I just do... Yep, just made life a lot easier for myself, for the most part. Just gotta be careful of the lines. Careful of the lines. Random question, could every playable character in Smash Bros. Defeat Monster Godzilla? That one I can say definitively. How much of a one-to-one comparison would you make between Godzilla and Bowser? Because they're both big lizards, but like Godzilla's much bigger, right? So like Mario might have a chance, but he wouldn't be able to do it as easily. I don't know. These are some really thought-provoking questions. Yeah, I don't know about that one. I'm on the fence about. Also, are we talking about? Yeah, I think it also depends on which Smash Bros. We're talking about. Because if it's like one of the older ones where there were like 6 characters, then no. But if it's the new one where everyone is here, then they might stand a bit more of a chance. I don't know. I guess it also would depend on like the power scaling of the thing, and you know, the this and the that, and the up and the downs, and all the rounds, and the hubba bubbas and the wubba numbas. Ugh. Starting to lose it. I've been staring at pencils for 30 minutes. And not one of these pencils can erase mistakes. None of them have erasers. They're stuck into a tinfoil ball. Possibly. They're being wielded by a maniac who can only move when there are lights, apparently, and whatever. And
I have that issue at times with my inking, so I just outline the whole line art solid to be able to fill in and invert later.
I feel like I've used to do that. I used to have like such a good coloring process that I learned from Jazza, and it is just gone the way of the dodo. I only say that because I read ahead and saw Dempsey's next comment is saying the dodo was a weak bird because it went extinct. Which, yeah, if there was ever a metric for how weak something is, not being around anymore might be a
big one.
Robin, starling, or any small bird. That I would have to agree with. They are not usually seen as the strongest. So, yeah. But I would say the weakest is probably a dodo, as it is not around anymore. However, I forget if it was a bird or there was some kind of animal that went extinct and then just magically appeared again. I forget what it was called, but yeah, I believe that happened. So, the dodo could always make a strong comeback if the timing's right. I think a lot of people have been dying for Dodo 2 Electric Boogaloo. Cool.
Wow, I forgot how small that mace was.
All right. So, well, actually, let's do a quick check. Let's throw a background color. You were very green. Your level was very, muted and dark and green. So we'll throw you in the background. And if I see anything change colors, I'll know we're not done. We're good. We did it. We got through a good majority of this stream. So I'm going to stay around for a quick second. Let the chat fill up with any final questions or requests, and also catch up on the ones I missed. I mean, Smash Bros. Has Kirby. That's all I'm saying.
That's a very good point. It could. Kirby just sucks up Godzilla and becomes Godzilla. That is a very interesting fact. So yeah, maybe they could beat it. In fact, you can easily make anything from a horror game into a dragon and say they're just extremely territorial and eat their own kind because they're smaller, like Komodo dragon. I didn't know that about Komodo dragons. Is that really true? That's interesting. I didn't know that. That's kind of messed up. That's very messed up. So far I have Macaroni Penguin, Microraptor, it counts, and all I need is one more. What is a macaroni penguin? Macaroni peng. Wow. I failed to type any of that. Is that what they're called? I did not know those were macaroni penguins. Learn something new every day. Samus could defeat Ridley. But is Ridley radioactive? That's my only thing. I don't know if that's true. Jack Black Bowser would sing a song and seduce Lullaby Godzilla. Oh no. But also, yeah, probably. It definitely sounds like a Jack Black thing. Man, now I got the disturbing image of Bowser singing a song to me. You don't need... That image exists. It's called the Super Mario movie. Which I haven't seen. Staring at pencils for 30 minutes is the start of any artist's traditional artwork. That very much is true. Specifically Smash Bros. Ultimate, which has 89 playable characters. Who's the strongest is Kirby, who has copy ability. Yeah, exactly. Jurassic Park, the Dodo Saga. Dodo 2, Electric Boogaloo. No, Ridley doesn't have radioactive activity. That's the only thing I would say is as to why I wouldn't make a one-to-one comparison between Ridley and Godzilla. I think I'll go with Chickadee. Now that'd be a funny dragon. That would be a funny dragon. That would be cool. All right. If anyone has any other final questions, I'll hang around for like 30 more seconds. But other than that, I think we made some good progress today. And to make sure we keep that good progress, save. Ridley is definitely smaller. I know that. Baby Komodo dragons can't climb because of how the adults can eat them. Nature is cruel. Another great yearbook quote from KyngPin. All right. Well, thank you all so much for joining me. This has been a fun stream. Yes, I will. I have not looked at my phone for the last 3 hours. I don't know how it's possible, but I know I have a lot of text messages from my friends to catch up on. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Thank you for joining for the stream. And hopefully next week we can finish this. And by finish it, I mean make it even creepier. Anyway, have a good night, everybody.